Hello everyone, Tawana Michelle here, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Coach and Mental Health Therapist. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about why you tend to like drama in your relationships, okay? So if you're watching this video, it's because you have a history of having these drama-filled relationships and you may not know why. And you may find yourself being with a different person and a similar situation. You may find yourself getting out of one toxic relationship into another. And so let's talk about the reasons for that. There are reasons. So the first main reason, and I think the most important to really understand, is that drama and chaos most likely feels normal to you. People who are drawn to drama and chaos and dysfunction, especially in relationships, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, whatever, they tend to have a history of that their whole lives, usually leading all the way back to their childhoods. They likely grew up in an environment where it was chaotic. It was very stressful. There was always something going on. It was unpredictable. It was drama filled. They may have saw a lot of arguments and fighting. There may have also been family members with untreated mental illness. There may have been substance abuse and addiction. There may have been personality disorder folks in the home. Maybe you were raised by narcissists. Maybe there were borderlines, maybe some antisocial personality, whatever was going on. There were people within your family that had a hard time maybe maintaining a safe, stable, and predictable environment for you. So you grew up in that and it just felt extremely normal and you didn't know any different. So because it feels normal, one thing about that is that because it feels normal, we don't always see the signs. We don't always know that it's not healthy for us. And then secondly, because it feels like home, we are always going to be drawn to that. Okay, you have to have that awareness. I understand that. I grew up in a home like that where to this day, I still call it excitement. It was chaotic. It was unpredictable. It was scary at times, but it was nowhere near boring. It was often very stimulating and exciting. So you're going to find yourself wanting that type of excitement, that type of chaos and drama in your life because it is intoxicating. Okay. It is definitely very stimulating. It is addictive. It is toxic. And there's a pull to always go back to that. And like I said, you don't really know that that isn't normal for you. But also even when you do know, even when you've done the work on yourself and you know this is not healthy, this is not stable, this is not safe. I didn't grow up in an environment that was peaceful, where I felt secure, where I had stabilities, where I saw healthy relationships, where I was a part of a healthy relationship, where I felt loved and worthy and valued. Even when you get to that place, there's always that pull towards what feels like home. That's so important to understand. It was so essential to my healing and my recovery process. Just knowing that even with all the insight, all the awareness, all the education, all the therapy, all the growth, we always want to go back home. There's an emotional pull towards that. So understanding that, being prepared for that, so that you can recognize what's happening and you can force yourself to reject that notion. Another reason we tend to like these drama-filled relationships, I kind of already alluded to that, is that we may feel bored with something that feels stable and peaceful. Not only because we're not used to it, but because we are used to extreme highs and lows, extreme ups and downs, unpredictability, spontaneity. And when you think about that type of lifestyle where you have constant fires, or maybe they're not constant, but they're coming, you just don't know when they're coming. You start to look forward to that. You start to get huge adrenaline spikes because of that. You start to get dopamine hits because of that. Because there is so much energy that you are experiencing in that moment, even though it's unhealthy, even though it's toxic. It is still feeding you energy. It is still causing that adrenaline rush. it is still making your brain fire off in so many different ways. And all of that, it is still stimulating your sympathetic nervous system. And so it puts you into sort of a worked up state. And when you get used to being in that state, it's hard to come down from that and stay down from that. That starts to feel boring. And so you end up meeting some nice person who's stable, and there's not a lot of fires. There's just a slow, steady burn. There's not ups and downs. It's just, steady. It's peaceful. And so you start to feel like, I'm not getting what I need from that. That doesn't excite me. I don't like that. All of you have heard someone say, I don't really like nice guys. They're too nice. I've said that. I've been there. I totally understand that. And not just women. You may have also heard guys, or if they have not said it, because they don't often say it the way that we do, but you have seen them gravitate towards someone that you probably consider not so nice. And they may have had a nice, peaceful, stable, loving relationship with their wife, but their mistress, the person they were having an affair with, totally different. Someone who wouldn't be considered a nice girl. So there is excitement in that, okay? Doesn't mean it's healthy, doesn't mean you need it, but you have to understand that. It's just like an alcoholic or an addict. If you are just focusing on the consequences, the negative consequences of alcoholism or drug addiction, then you are going to be missing a very important piece that is needed for that addict to recover, because they're going to feel like, one, you don't understand, and secondly, well, what about this other part of it that does not feel negative, that I really enjoy? So you have to address that. You have to prepare the addict, because when we become trauma bonded in those environments, we become addicted to negative stimulation. We have to understand that for us, there's a part of that not only feels normal, but feels exciting in a good way. And so just like the alcoholic, well, when the alcoholic is drunk, they like that feeling. They like that buzz. They like being drunk. So if you're only focusing on the negative, but they have all these emotional memories related to the dopamine hits that they get from what they consider the positive or being drunk, then what's going to happen when they start thinking about that and they start missing that and they start craving that? So they have to be prepared to handle that. They have to know to expect that. And sometimes even when we are with a nice, so-called nice person, and they don't bring the drama, then we might bring it because we're used to that. And we feel like on an unconscious level, until we're healed, we need that to feel alive. But then you get to a place where you recognize this is unhealthy. I don't need that and I don't want that. But there's some things I still like about it. And so I have to learn to choose wisely. And it's really about making a choice. And when you don't have the awareness of it, then you can't really consciously make a choice, because now your subconscious is going to take over. And you're going to find yourself doing things you don't understand why. You're going to find yourself going back to people that are toxic, filled with drama, that are not treating you well, and you don't understand why. So you have to know that about yourself. You have to know that, hey, I like this, or I did like it. And even if I don't like it now and I don't want it, there's some part of me that's going to always be pulled towards it. And I have to recognize that immediately. And I have to avoid it. One of the things that I learned about myself is that if there is someone that I find myself naturally attracted to, they're not good for me. Fortunately, I'm married now to a very healthy individual, and I don't really have to worry about that. But the way that I ended up in this relationship was that I did have to recognize that anyone I was naturally drawn to, they have that thing. They have that toxic, drama-filled, bad boy thing that feels normal to me and that felt good to me. So I had to recognize that, and I had to grow to like something different. Even now, I have to remind myself, this isn't boring, this is stable. This isn't dull, this is peaceful. Because when you never had that, you don't really know what it feels like, and you get confused. And it took me a long time to learn the difference, and I don't want you guys to take that long. So I just wanted to put that information out here because it is a real thing, and it's important to really know that about yourself. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that something's wrong with you for being attracted to a certain type of person. It just means that that person, that situation reminds you of something very familiar that feels like home to you. And we're always wanting that love that maybe we never felt like we got from home. So if I can go to this person over here who acts like daddy in all kinds of ways, and he gives me the attention, on some level I feel like I'm getting what I needed from daddy. But anyway, let me know, guys, what you think about this in the comment section down below. Have you found yourself in situations with toxic individuals and creating drama, or just been a part of drama-filled relationships over and over and over again? And if so, how did you stop that pattern? How did you get yourselves out of it? Also, share this video out with others who you think may be interested in this topic. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? I'd love to have you be a part of this community. And that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye.